Hello, welcome back to O'Delly Talks Books. I have notes today because if you watched my first video, I had no notes and winging it did not work for me. Today we're going to discuss Brimstone by Callie Hart. I finished it the other day, a couple days ago. Doesn't matter when I finished it, I finished it. So let's talk story. It picks up right where it left off in Quicksilver. We are in Amontreath. Cyrus is now half vampire, half fae. Malcolm is dead. She is now queen. So much of the book in the beginning is Cyrus coming into her own, trying to establish her dominance over the blood court, figuring out life and balance with her runes and her power and what it is to be half fae, half vampire, and just life as a whole now that she's been reborn. I feel like she does a pretty good job. She definitely grows up and kind of comes into her own as the story progresses. So from that angle, I enjoyed it. What I did not enjoy was the overuse of mate. And I don't know if I'm on an island on this, but it almost felt like there was a word count that needed to be met. And so we were just throwing mate left and right. There were definitely some scenes, and when I say some, I mean multiple scenes, where there were inner monologues that were taking place either from Cyrus's point of view or from Kingfisher's point of view, and they were just going on and on with these inner monologues about how they loved their mate and they couldn't believe that that was their mate and their mate, and it just went on, and it almost became overwhelming. It felt unnecessary in some parts. It really did feel like there was a word count that needed to be met, and so why not throw in these inner monologues between scenes? If I'm on an island, let me know. Let me know if you agree or disagree with that. The other thing that I got from the book, and it started in Quicksilver, but it continued to progress throughout Brimstone, is it felt like Fisher was hiding something. It feels like it started in Quicksilver, that he wasn't presenting his whole self, that he was keeping something back. And as Brimstone went along, it continued to get that feeling. Just some of the things that he would say in his inner monologues and just the way that he would act in certain scenarios, it felt like he's not presenting his whole self and telling his friends or Cyrus everything that there is to know. And with the way the book ends, I feel like it lends a lot of weight to that theory. So I'm wondering, book 3, do we find out all of Fisher's secrets? Is everything going to be revealed? Did we get the final taste of what he's been hiding with the ending of the book? Or is there more to come? What's your theories on that? So my big grievance with the story as a whole is that it felt like there were plots that weren't fully developed. So the first one is the blood court. There is a large amount of time in the book that is dedicated to the blood court, to Cyrus being the queen, to her establishing dominance, to her getting people in line, her Lords of Midnight in line. Just the blood court as a whole, there's a lot of time that is dedicated to it. And for the events that transpired and that took place in the final scenes, as far as the book is concerned, with the blood court, it felt rushed. It felt a little too clean, a little too easy for Fisher and Cyrus and the problem that has always been the blood court. And so I'm going to dive deeper into this into my spoiler video, because I feel like it's hard to talk specifics without giving away spoilers, and I don't want to do that in this video. The other plot hole, or at least not fully developed plot line for me, is Everlane and her deep sleep. I just, at this point, what was the point? What's the purpose of her deep sleep and continuing it? And why are we here? Why is it happening? How is it helping the story further along? Where is it going? What's the purpose, essentially? Where are we going with this, Callie? I don't understand. And another thing that is stumping me, and maybe I misunderstood, maybe I missed it, because I did listen to this on audio, and most of the time when I'm listening on audio, it's in my commute, either to or from work. So that's most of my time is spent in the car when I'm listening. So maybe I missed it, but with Malcolm being dead, all the power shifts to Cyrus. And so now that's how she becomes queen. That's how she's able to command the court. That's how she's able to, put forth the laws that she did. So she's able to command the vampires. And Malcolm obviously doesn't have a hold because he's gone. Can't she just command Everlane to wake up, or wouldn't Everlane have just woken up? What did I miss there? Someone help me out, please, because the whole purpose of it is not making sense. What is the point? I need someone to explain to me what the point is. And then the scenes that take place with Fisher and Carrion and the demon, and I won't talk specifics. If you've read the book, if you've listened to it, if you've gone through, you know what I'm talking about as far as Fisher and Carrion and the demon, and how that ends, and then later what happens with the box, and then it's never talked about again. Why? What did that add to the story? What was the purpose? Is that box going to come into play later? Is there going to be a point? Or did we just add that in for filler because we had a word count? I don't know. Someone tell me. So overall, I give the story a 3.5. I wanted to know what happened next. I wanted to get to the end of the book. I'm a person that doesn't DNF a book, and I did at least want to know what happens next. It leaves on a cliffhanger. Is that a Callie Hart thing? This is only my second book by her, so I don't know if that's something that she does a lot, if she's known for that, or if it's just this series specifically. But with the way the book ends, I am excited. I'm looking forward to the third book. My understanding is that the third book will be the final book, so we'll finally get all of our questions answered. I hope we'll get resolution. We'll see. The third book, I believe I found online, the third book comes out September or October, I think it was, of 2027. So we've got a little bit of time. We'll definitely have time to do some rereads and maybe rethink or revisit some of these topics that I may have overlooked. So 3.5 overall. When it comes to the spice, because we are fans of spice, especially if you're a romantic-y girly, that's something that we talk about, right? I give it a rated R rating and a frequency of medium. So compared to Quicksilver, it picks up a lot. there's more spice in Brimstone than there was in Quicksilver. And so given the amount that it picks up, it almost feels high when it comes to frequency, but compared to a lot of the other books, a lot of the other series, you wouldn't consider it high. It would be more of a medium. Just comparing it to Quicksilver is what makes it feel high. So you do get more than you did in Quicksilver. Look forward to that. The descriptive language that's used and how long some of the scenes go on is what gives it weight for it to be rated R. It's not something that you want your younger children reading. You want someone to be a little more mature reading it. So take that as you will. I feel like spice and heat is subjective, so read it for yourself. Let me know if you think I rated it wrong. The biggest thing that I have with this book, like I said, I listened to it on Audible, so it was an audiobook. My biggest grievance is the narration. So I completely fell in love with Quicksilver because the narrators did such an amazing job. They brought the characters to life. They brought the book to life. Like, I was fully immersed. So I was really excited for Brimstone and really excited to dive into Brimstone. The narrators stay the same. We have Stella Bloom and Anthony Palmini again. Stella kept the same energy. It carried over from Quicksilver into Brimstone as far as bringing the characters and the scenes and the feelings and just the immersive experience. She kept that same energy. She did a wonderful job. When it comes to Anthony, I think he kept pace with the side characters and their feelings and personalities. But when it comes to Fisher, I think he missed the mark. He did not keep the same energy. It did not. The Fisher that we experienced in Quicksilver is not the same Fisher that we experienced in Brimstone. And I don't know if that's Anthony's fault or if that's just the way that Fisher was written in Brimstone, if it's a combination of the two. But in my opinion, this book specifically, there's no shade because I do love Anthony Palmini. He is a great narrator, so no shade against him. It's just this book specifically, it felt, and let me preface this by saying I have no idea what it takes to be a narrator, so don't come for me, please. It felt like he didn't do a pre-read, so he didn't know what the characters were going to be feeling or how to present them. It felt like he was just doing a live read, and whatever emotion that he portrayed in that moment is what stuck, and that's what we got. I don't know. It missed the mark. So overall, because Stella did such an amazing job and kept that same energy, and because Anthony did do a good job with keeping the other characters in line and keeping their energy the same, I'm going to give the narration a 3.5. And tell me if you think I'm wrong. As far as would I listen to it or would I read it, or should you listen to it, should you read it, is it worth that credit? No. You should definitely read the book. After having gone through and listened to it, I wish that I would have read it first and then maybe used the revisit, or when I go to do a reread, if I would have done the audiobook second, maybe I would have enjoyed it more because I already knew the story. But I wish that brand new, reading it the first time, or getting the experience of it the first time, I wish I would have done it reading and not listening. And that really just goes back to the narration. So tell me what you think. Do you agree? Do you disagree? If you agree with some of what I said, give me a like. If you disagree, drop a comment. Tell me what you think I got wrong. Tell me what you think I got right. I don't know. My biggest question to you is, who's going to be the bigger villain in book 3? Belicon or Madra? Until next time, thank you.